And we'll go ahead and we'll start again with the public hearing that we tabled last meeting for the Wagner S drain, or the proposed Wagner S drain. And I'll let Matt, if you want to, or I guess Brad, you can go first and explain what's been done between meetings.
So last meeting, we realized that there was the drainage area and the included properties was incorrect, and so we had a look at that at the office, and we sent out another round of letters, basically saying whether or not you would have enough property inside the drainage area to be assessed. That included so properties that were outside the drainage area completely, and properties that had a small portion inside, less than our threshold, I think, of 0.1 acre. Were said on the letter that you would not be assessed if this were made a legal thing. And so we should have received those letters, and then that's about it. So we updated that.
Okay. So last meeting, I guess we were surprised. We didn't see that, some people were in, some people were out. We just had a list, and that was the first we'd seen it. So we just wanted to get everything clarified, let you know who would still be in the proposed drain and who would be out. So some of them were left out, and I think everybody received letters that would still be in the proposed drain at this point. So that's what we want to be 100% clear on it, and don't postpone it until we got to this meeting. So, and then we had some questions from Matt, I guess, on the easement and what we could or could not do. So he did some research on that, how that's affect.
So the easement language doesn't prohibit you guys from still making it a county drain. Probably when a lot of drains were established way back when, 100 years ago, it's because a farmer wanted to sell off part of his land that his tile ran through. And as a result, he asked for it to be a county drain. So that doesn't prohibit it. Now, it doesn't also say you have to do it one way or the other. It just is what it is. You can make that still a county drain. So that's the first question. The other question, this is more of a technical thing, is that the law technically required a whole bunch of steps for, I don't know, Scott even here? Scott, yeah, for Scott to follow to get to the point where we did. And we, in the process of following all those steps, we've checked to make sure he's checked every box and done everything properly. Then once he does all those steps, there is again a technical step that is required for somebody to remonstrate or object, and this is where it gets a little bit complicated. So the law says that if a group of people that represent 51% or two-thirds of the area or 51% of the assessed value want to remonstrate, that they are to file what's called a written remonstrance with the court or with this board, signed by 51% or two-thirds of the area, kind of as a collective petition saying we object. I went through and looked at, and that didn't happen, okay? But this is a technical thing, and so I just want to make sure you guys understand it. What we got is a bunch of letters, two of which called it a remonstrance, but all of the letters were signed by the individual property owners. I think an argument could be made that they have basically complied and filed a remonstrance petition, but the argument also could be made that they didn't exactly comply with the law, because there is not one petition in front of you signed by 51% or two-thirds. And so all I can do is give you that advice. I mean, it is not a black and white thing, right? There is definitely 51% of the assessed valuation or two-thirds of the area that have filed something, no doubt about it. Two of the people have filed what they have called a remonstrance and laid out the reasons why they think, and all of them for various reasons have objected to it. Once that happens, so if you get a remonstrance, then it says if the board finds a proper remonstrance has been filed, it may dismiss the petition. If they do not dismiss the petition, it goes to the county surveyor for a final report. So that really is where you guys are at. You you either dismiss the petition and say, no, doesn't go any further, or you approve the petition, in which point it then goes back to Brad and he does the final drawing sketch, just like any establishing a drain. So,
Okay.
so you're either dismissing it or accepting it, and then it moves forward. And then, you know, the remonstrance, non-remonstrance thing is, I could argue both sides of that one, right? Like,
Okay.
so that's all I can do is tell you guys what the law says, and I think the intent clearly was to remonstrate, but technically they didn't require and comply with the law, which we forced Scott to do. So
So,
clear as mud.
so just to clear that up, so there was some questions on the easement. So there is the requirements currently where that property owner would maintain the tile. So there was question if we could override that as a board, and it appears that we can if they decide to. There was question on the objections, what we should do, depending on how many objections we had. And there's enough objections that would qualify for remonstrance, but it wasn't worded that way. But even if we get enough and there isn't a remonstrance, it's still up to the board to decide in favor or against. So as we sit here, I guess I would tell everybody that you're gonna make the decision whether you're in favor or against. I'm gonna open up the floor for comments again. If there's new information, anybody wants to talk. I mean, we remember all the objections from last time, but if anybody wants to say anything different, or anybody wants to bring any new information, you're welcome to do that. So I'd open that up now, and if you're able, we'd like you to come up and say your name and your address. If not, I mean, you can address from.
I guess I do have a question. So we do have, you said probably 51% of the homeowners that have
Speak up so we can hear.
that have written objection letters. How many homeowners are in that watershed, and how many have objected? Do we have like a count of 10 that were in the watershed and then 10 or
Yeah, so
something?
on
I think
your
there's a
staff-
chart in there,
there
actually.
is.
Oh, okay.
In your staff report on, loosely in your packet as well, there's a chart of all of the property owners, which ones are still included in the watershed, and then the ones that have stars are the ones that we have gotten information from.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and open it up for public comment. So if anybody wants to have comment.
Oh, you know I do. I can't come up, I'm suffering from cancer, and it's been a joke for 2 years, so I wear my tennis shoes and get on with it, so.
Okay.
Okay, I do have some new information. I have a question for Matt. Our town is a small town, and I heard that you were going to contact the Attorney General's office concerning the recorded deed. That didn't happen, or you didn't, or that was just worded? Okay.
I don't know where that came from, but
I don't either,
it's
but-
not something we would call the Attorney General.
Yeah, okay. And, so I just wanted to make sure, I thought I'd find out from you what you found out. I did some research, and, this is not the first time, and this has to do, because I'm concerned about the recorded deed portion of this. Because, with you voting, you can't just vote over a recorded deed. It's a recorded deed. But this isn't the first time this has happened. In 100 years, people have come along and this has happened, so they've made rules for it. And it says, can the drainage board override deeded covenants? And the short answer is no, not without following Indiana statutory procedures. And what the law says is under Indiana Code 36-9-2718 and 39-9-2719, a drainage board cannot reclassify a private drain as a regulated drain unless it follows specific steps. These procedures protect property owners and ensures due process. So, there are required steps that have to be followed.
Will you
for
read those?
conclusion.
Will you read those covenants
Sure.
as well?
Was it 18 and 19? Was that the?
Yeah, 18 and 19.
So I don't have this book memorized, but
I
but
understand.
what you're saying is, I think, is exactly what we've done. There is, and that's what I was trying to explain. There is a whole lot of steps that you guys didn't see. The 3 steps that happened before you got notice of it. Those steps are found in that same section, but 54, 55, 56, 57, that's where we're at now. The complying with the code sections is exactly what we did and what we're doing today.
Well, I understand, but I'm not worried about the original, the original tile and make it a regulated, but I am worried about the deed part, because you cannot, and unfortunately you can't. I've done enough reading and printing out, and finally, the family said, no more, I'm not printing 79 pages out. So, I wanted to break this down, and the steps for conversion is if all affected owners agree. Well, we know that's not happening, because all the owners, the affected owners, have disagreed. And only one owner, which would be Scott, he did all of these parts, but you have to, let me get to, here we go. If the deed says you're responsible for a private drain, the board cannot simply override that. The board must follow the statutory conversion process, including notice and hearings, which is what you do anyway. And if you haven't done this, the claim of just jurisdiction to do whatever you want is not supported by law. You can't just say it's okay, it's within your jurisdiction. It is if you follow the process.
Which we have.
Which we have.
Not for the recorded deed. You have to list it as the recorded deed. What you want to do is, this is a separate, it's a similar process, because it's all similar, but this is, you have to go through the process of the notification, the hearing, and, and then get to this point where we are. What you're talking about, and I understand, and I agree with you, that's the first process, and that's the only thing we knew about until you all didn't know about the recorded deed until, it was a surprise at the last meeting. And that wasn't fair. That wasn't fair to you guys. I have to tell you, I was on the Whitley County Board of Zoning Appeals for 20 years. 19 years I was its president. And I understand what you all go through. And it's not always fun, but you have to go through the process, as painful as it can be. And that's why I think I dug this, because someone had said, I had heard, I think it was on the film that said, it's within your jurisdiction, you can do what you want. That just hit a bell with me, and that's why I started digging. And I dug that same day, and that's why I found out all this stuff. So,
Well, do you have where it's a separate process to
Change,
do
yeah.
the easement versus the drain? Like, is there a separate law that spells out the process for the easement and the deed?
okay, it's for I don't understand how you're using the word easement or.
Well, the easement on the recorded deed,
Right.
you say there's a separate process
Yeah.
to clear that versus what we've done. And do you have the
Code or.
code or the law that?
That's in like the 78 pages that my family finally said no, but I have some here. Let me find it here. Okay, like it says here, with Columbia City, Indiana, the core legal concern is whether a county drainage board can lawfully override a deed covenant requiring the landowner to repair an 8-inch, how that's what it is, drainage is on the property. And unilaterally reclassify it, private drain as a regulated drain.
I'm
You
sorry,
can't
what
have-
is the source of
What are you
that?
reading?
Yeah,
Okay,
where's
I'm
it
getting
coming
there,
from?
but you can't, what I'm trying to explain to you is you can't have both. You see, you can't have both, you can't, so we have to take care of the deeded part.
We'll need a code or a covenants or
I'm
something to
getting
get.
there. Look, there's
for
whole
the-
pages and
Sure.
there's other people have gone through this type of stuff. Let's see if I can find it without reading this whole thing.
I think that what you're reading, and I don't know what case it is or what you're reading, but it just requires you to follow the statute, which is what we've done. That
On
I
the
know you're
first
saying
deal,
that there.
I will argue that to my death, because I don't care about the ditch and all that, we're at that point. But what came up was the required, or the recorded deed, and that stands with the property. So you guys gotta get over that recorded deed business. You can't just vote on it because, for one thing, it's not yours to vote on unless you go through the process. You see what I'm saying? I mean, right now, it's Scott's. He owns this whole thing. You don't yet. And when you do, that's fine. Then you can, once you do, then you can, vote on what we're doing,
She's saying there's a
to
process
have
to
them do
change
that.
the deed first.
I don't know where, I mean, you're gonna have to give me, I spent a bunch of time researching this. So if you have a code section that we can look at, we'd be happy to look at it. but-
Okay, let's see, there's 20, let's see.
If we don't even furnish that code to them, that's their job to know it.
Right.
Oh, I understand. Well,
Yeah.
I found it, and I'm not, I'm not tricky or anything. It took me one day to find this
It's
information.
in here if you wanna look. It's in here.
I mean, you can give it to me if you want, but I mean, I'm not gonna change my opinion just because you found
guys done the
something on the
steps for
internet.
the tile, but you didn't do the steps for the deed. There's two different
Yeah.
processes,
Yeah.
what she's saying.
Yeah.
And you only done it for the tile.
Yeah, and that's fine, but you can't smush them together. You have to handle, and the Indiana code, it says you have to do it. I know.
So where does it say that? I mean, that's what I'm asking.
Oh, Matt, heavens. This
Man,
lists
I'm
so
not trying to
many
be rude,
different-
I just, people come in here all the time and say the law says whatever.
Oh, no, I'm
and
not-
they don't give me anything to go by.
I was on a
I'm
board
not-
for 20 years.
I
I'm
know
not
you-
gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna waste your time.
I'll give you guys a second to look. If somebody else has any new comment, we'll give you a minute. Yeah, come on up if you
I
want.
got a remark about you guys saying all these letters came in. Read his damn letter that he sent to us, and it said that we had to notify you guys 5 days prior to the meeting, or we had no choice of nothing. He's the one that started that, and he knew that that form had to be signed by all of us. He knew that. We didn't even know what it was about. He puts numbers up here, code numbers. Do you think any of us knew anything about what the hell that meant? No. He's literally ripping off the senior citizens that live in that little corner and has never had any problems in the 52 years that I've lived there.
Okay. Yeah, come on.
We were never notified how to put it all in one letter. That was never
Exactly.
told to us in the letter that we all received. It didn't say everybody had to put it all in one letter and sign it. It just said letter, and that's why you got all the letters to begin with. So we were never informed of the proper procedure to do that right from the start. That's gonna answer one of the things. And then still today, we don't know who's in and who's out. How are we supposed to know that?
Well, if you got a letter that said you're in.
The only
you're
letter
in.
I got said how much of my land benefited, which is totally backwards from what it actually is. So I don't know who's
There should have been on there
in.
what, if, like, yes or no, if you would be assessed or not.
Yeah, but how do I know who else is in it?
Well,
Is
in
this
the
the list
neighborhood.
of the
We didn't
people
get the
that are,
list.
the yellow highlighted ones are the ones that are being?
I don't know who you're including and not included. So how can I make my decisions?
Yeah.
You took out the day we were here last time, Doug Schrader's field. Is Mr. Carey, is he still in or is he out?
Do we want to just read this list so they know the people that are?
We should have been provided a list.
Yeah. I agree with that.
It's just, usually you're notified on your acreage, not on every acreage. I mean, if.
Well, every name was on the first letter we got. We assumed we were receiving the same kind of letter the second time.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I
All
mean,
right, right there it is. Jeff Carey, you got him apparently being in. You explain to me how Mr. Carey can be in this and Doug Schrader's field is not in it. Explain to me that. You can look at your map, you can drive out by it. The tile runs through both pieces of those properties. None of Mr. Carey's can drain to Mr. Wagner's property. So why are they should both be out or both be in? And to tell the truth, they both should be out and we shouldn't even be here, but that's another point. But still, you can't have one in and one out.
Seth, didn't that tile used to dump out on top of the ground
Yeah.
on Doug's field?
Yeah.
When this was,
Yep.
you know, and your dad started at the ditch and brought it to the road and hooked it in.
It all dumped into the field and it ran in the river, so I mean,
Yeah.
it's all
Right.
sloping to the river.
Yeah, it
so-
all dumped down on Harry's field,
Yeah.
yeah.
so.
But still, it's the same process. The tiles through both properties, they both have to be in or both out.
Should be.
Any court's gonna look at that and laugh.
That's not-
No answer?
The cutoff was the road. So the road, you go out there, the water follows the road, and it does eventually sheet across, but there's also a fair amount of infiltration.
You tell me how Mr. Carey's water on his property gets to Mr. Wagner's property.
It doesn't, it soaks through the ground into the tile.
Yeah, so this is.
Okay, so the water, the rain, when it rains on Doug's field, that water don't go down in the tile?
It has a sufficient slope that it just sheets off to the river, and it's close enough to the
It's
river.
in the Eel River assessment,
Yeah.
because it goes by the surface to the
You
Eel
can't,
River.
you guys, I don't know what you're even thinking or dreaming, but if that same tile runs through two pieces of property that butt up to each other, how can this guy pay and this guy not pay?
Because the water
It's
then
all-
goes in the river. I mean, it doesn't go in the tile, it goes in the river.
So everybody.
Any rain on top of Doug's property is soaking down into that tile. No different it does on Mr. Carey's property.
Perforated, is it?
It's close. I mean, it's close.
It's got both.
It's
got both types of pipe.
Across the road, and it just sheets off. It's pretty flat on.
Listen,
Carey's
It's
property.
not flat.
I mean, I'll
It
tell,
holds water.
I'll tell you this, I've stayed neutral on this and I haven't
I
tried
know you
to, I
have,
haven't
Seth,
tried to
yeah.
affect them anyway.
I think you understand what I'm trying to say.
And I'm just, so every piece is included in a tile somewhere. So like
Yeah.
so that piece, they're saying it's not in on this tile, but Dad's paying the Eel River portion of it, so.
So is Mr. Carey.
All these people. would
So,
pay the
so I mean, I'm
electric
just
bill.
saying that as far as,
Yeah.
you know, he's still paying some, but it's not, they figure out who's gonna benefit and who's not. So Dad's water all just runs in the river.
I understand everything what you guys are saying, but
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's the same pipe on two pieces of property. The water has to get down into that tile on both properties.
Yeah, I mean,
So either one has to come out or the other one go back in. It's that simple. Or else we'll decide it at the next level. But on with that, I seen a list of who got in it. We're gonna go back to where we're at for today. When we left the meeting last time, we were under the assumption that the request was tabled until this meeting. But then I was advised further discussion took place at the end of that meeting. I don't believe that's kosher. Do you know that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
It's
we
kinda like
tabled,
that
the discussion was
Called the
tabled.
Attorney General, and I mean,
Well,
unfortunately, rumors just go crazy.
I know, but the meeting was tabled.
Okay.
At the end of your meeting, before you guys adjourned, you discussed Wagner's drain again, after we all left.
I don't think so.
It's, oh, I do, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube, so
Yeah.
don't sit there and act like you don't know what happened. Everybody watched it on YouTube. Okay, and then after listening to that, what you guys discussed, it's pretty obvious, this side of the table is pretty definite sure they want to pass this, trying to have these guys understand your thinking to get this passed. And it's just crazy that you guys made the comments about trees in the Deer property front yard. There's no trees in the front yard of the Deer property, hadn't been for over 30 years. There's pine trees on Mr. Carey's property. Pine trees don't go deep with roots. The pine trees have been there just as long as this tile has and has never caused a problem. Mr. Clausen planted them pine trees when he built his house new, and they've been there the whole time as this tile.
I don't know what you're talking about, Mike. Are you
Well,
saying
the
I
comment
made
comes from this side of the table on the
Okay.
trees.
Okay.
So,
Right.
I don't think it was intended to be a specific comment. It's just, it relates to the fact that, Mr. Wagner has no ability to, prevent people downstream of him from planting trees that could clog up his tile that he's then responsible for fixing.
that's a stupid idea because we don't have trees there.
No,
They
no,
could
that's
though.
correct.
Next owner, they're
But
just
those
saying
things
next
preventing
owner.
somebody from planting trees there.
Why would we plant trees on top of our septic systems? That's what you guys don't even understand.
People plant
People do
trees
it
You
all
got
over
three,
the
you got three septic systems that are on top of this tile. So if you dig that tile up, are you gonna pay to re-put my septic system in then? What's your policy on that?
So, I got a question, is your septic hooked into that tile then?
No.
Have you got anything hooked into that tile? You got
Not that I know of.
downspouts that go somewhere?
Basements on
No.
or anything.
Downspouts all come out on top of the ground. Years ago, they went down below, but where to, I don't know. I was only that big back then, I don't know.
Yeah, they go to that tile. I mean, you're using that tile too.
How do you know?
It's natural, it just flows that to it. It
No,
goes into the ground.
that's the same as Mr. Carey and Mr. Schrader's then, right? You just answered the question back to that.
I don't know about
If,
that.
well, but you said it's natural, it's the same thing for that.
Look at my house, all my drains run out on the ground.
Any
Well,
I mean, just any basement drains, anything like that?
There's basement drains, they haven't worked for years. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But also, this side of the table says, make sure you guys get your numbers right, because I feel they're gonna appeal this decision. So that tells me, when I'm listening to that on YouTube, it's already been discussed what's gonna happen here today. Maybe, maybe not, but that's telling you this side of the table is interested in this getting passed. It just, I don't understand why, if you're making decisions behind closed doors, why even waste everybody's time to be here? But also, you guys are a board to represent the county, not the county employee. You're supposed to make decisions that benefit the fiscal responsibility of the county.
And I think that's what we do. We try to do that.
Trying, but in this case, it don't seem to be working.
Well,
I'll have to
there's
disagree
no
with you.
decision
I
been-
don't
there's
think, I'm not in the position of, I don't care who you are or what you do, but I'm in the position that I try to do what's right for the taxpayer.
Yeah,
Okay?
well, that's all we're saying.
That's all I'm
If
saying.
we got 5
too.
taxpayers against this and 1 for it, that pretty much answers what needs to be done then. Yeah. But I just wanna know, if you guys tear up one of these 3 septic systems of those houses, who's gonna be fixing it when you dig the tile up? We'd like to know that now, not when it happens. We'd like to know in advance what the procedure is. Has anybody even thought of that?
The septics are in the front yard, you mean, or where?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
just asking. where-
Shrove's, deer property, Mr. Carey's is on the north side of his property. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that tile runs right underneath half of them, and right against the rest of them.
okay.
We haven't even gotten to that point, Mike, of figuring out where things are at. I mean, we're just trying. before
Well,
we
shouldn't
even-
you figure stuff out before you accept something?
We should follow the law, and that's what we're doing. And you're complaining that we're making sure that the law is followed. But that's what we have to
We
do.
want answers to what's gonna happen down the road. We'd like to know up front, not when the problem arises. We wanna know up front, you know? You know, I mean, what if I went to a real estate agent and said, how much, if this changes to county regulated drain, is that gonna affect the value of my property over the other one? Who knows that answer yet? You know? So there's a lot of things here you guys don't even think about apparently. But the septic systems are in that 75-foot distance, no permanent structures. They're there, they're existing. So why, I mean, if that goes against your rules of having a county drain in the right of way, the 75-foot stuff, the structures, why even consider, go through all the hassle and consider this to begin with? And
Because we have to follow the law. I mean, that's what I'm telling you, is that when somebody files a petition, we have to have a hearing, and the board has to decide. His rights are just the same as your rights. Your
well, I don't believe our
ability
letter that we received
complied with the law.
complied with the law.
Well, it did.
It did?
Yes.
Who was the lawyer that approved that? Who was Mr. Wagner's lawyer?
Greg Hockmeyer is his lawyer.
Did Mr. Wagner put up a bond for this?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is.
Pretty sure,
This
yeah, I
is a
mean,
public
yes or no.
hearing.
I'm just saying
Yes,
what's in
he
the.
did. He
I'm just
complied
talking
with
about
the
what
law.
the rules are there you're following.
It's not a. This isn't a attack us question and
No,
answer
I'm
session.
trying to figure out if you follow all the
It's
rules.
you make a public comment and then we make a decision. And this is not productive anymore.
The information
Ultimately,
about the septic system is useful. Those septic systems are not mapped on Beacon because they're probably before that was started, so we had no way really of knowing those were there.
They're all on file in the health department.
Probably shouldn't have a tile shouldn't have a septic right over top of the tile.
No, you shouldn't.
It got put in wrong to start with, I'd say.
That was approved by the county back in the 60s.
I'd say.
70s.
Say it's not right.
You can't come back and change it 50,
All right,
60
all right,
years
let's,
later.
we're
We
gonna
gotta
get,
go on.
we're gonna get this
You
under
know.
order.
I mean, there's just so many things you didn't think.
I can tell you,
It's
I
out
mean, there might have been comments said at the end of the meeting, but there's no minds made up that I haven't talked to anybody on it. I mean, I don't know that anybody's talked to anybody else. I mean, we're gonna try to give everybody a fair shake. I mean, that's what this is about, and trying to follow the law. So, welcome any more comments, anything that's new from the last meeting that anybody wants to say, you're more than welcome to.
I got one more thing. You can satisfy everybody here by approving Mr. Wagner's request, and you don't have to establish a maintenance fund because it's already been proven by his cost that it's only $500 a year. And under IC code 36-927-44, if annual costs are less than $1,500 a year, you do not have to establish a maintenance fund. So you can satisfy everybody here if you still want to take over the responsibility of maintaining that old tile. Or are they just more interested in collecting money? But it can be handled by that code right there. Not charge a maintenance fund, set an amount of years to it, 10, 20, 25 years, and still get it off of his fingers, which everybody's concerned with.
We can only collect 4 years and have 4 years in the fund, so you can't just collect it.
Well, we're
Forever.
saying we don't want to pay anything, so you can establish that with no funds from us
Okay.
and still take it off his fingers if that's what you want to do.
Any more public comments?
Since we're talking about money, is it, what would the cost be to us individually? I understand that the minimum is 200, is it?
We'd have to have another public hearing to establish those
Is
rates.
that how it goes?
Yeah, so there'd be,
And
if
there may not be, it may be what Mike just said,
Okay.
is that ultimately there is nothing currently to do, and there may be a minimal assessment. I have no idea.
Yeah.
We
Because,
haven't,
you know,
that's
this
the
is-
next step.
This is scary, because we started out and to, not to belabor it, but, we just got something and we all didn't know what was going on. You know, be here, October 20th, you know, and if you're upset, write a letter. That's pretty much all we got. And then we came here, and you guys have been great. I don't want you to feel like you're being attacked because you're not. The frustration I hear is because we had no idea coming in what was going on. And I understand because I've been on both sides, you know, and I know how I felt. And that's why I did the homework. The other thing is, I can't find the numbers right now because I think it's in that 78 pages that I didn't print out. And, but what I'm telling you is true. I'm not making it up. That you have to follow that procedure when you want to push aside, the deed, because, you know, logically, you can't just push it aside, you know, and then vote on it and do things, you know, because the deed is pretty much, and it has been for years, what's in the deed is gold. But there is a procedure. If you follow it, you can, you know, get around it. A lot of my people said, don't tell him that. Well, yeah, he can, it hasn't happened. It's happened in the last 100 years or so. That's why they made expanded the rules.
do you feel we need to table it again? Do you think there's not anything in there that's?
Man, I spent a lot of time looking at it. It makes no difference to me. I can look further if you want.
I'm asking you what you think we need to do.
I feel comfortable that you don't need to.
Okay.
But I don't know also what you guys are gonna do.
I don't either. I have no idea what's gonna be done.
Right.
As far as the assessment amount, I mean, we took a little bit of a look at it, and basically the acreages are so small that in order to collect any amount of money that would be useful, everybody would basically be on minimums. And so whatever that minimum is set at, is what you would be per year. So we didn't set that because that's part of a separate process or a separate hearing.
Okay. Any further discussion? One more time. Anybody? Come on up if you. Yeah, come on up.
Then I was told by a member of the board that this has never happened in Whitley County, and you guys did not know quite what to do about this situation, and that was when it was first started.
What's never happened in Whitley County, I'm sorry?
That you guys had never had a private change to a county.
While we've been on the board, I mean, it's happened in the past, it's just we don't have experience with it.
So this basically opens up for all you farmers, do the same damn thing.
It's been open, it's a process that can be followed, it's in the laws, it's nothing new. I mean, somebody's trying to follow the law and get a tile, go from private to county, which is how they were established to begin with. So it's not gonna open up anything new, it's in the law that can be done. Yeah, there's one in the back, go ahead.
It seems like he's trying to skirt the
Just-
responsibility.
just
Oh, my name's
state.
Brett Schrader, 2393 East Mile. It seemed like Scott's, I get it, trying to skirt the responsibility of his deed to now apply it to everybody else. I mean, I probably got more acres going in that than anybody. That I don't think are going there because there's a lot of Scots going the other way, if that's even true. It's been deeded that way since, what, 99 when Doug sold them 4 properties, and I know Doug fixed those tiles twice at his expense back when it was his ground, and he assumed that deed that way when he bought it from Harry Bullinger, and so you're, what, 50, 60 years into it, and now you're gonna change it. That's my fault.
Thank you. Any further discussion, then we're gonna go to discussion at the board level.
The part that I don't get
If you want to come on up, you can just state your name and address.
I'm Mr. Carey, that lives on the corner. The part I don't get is the drain's been repaired, it's been cleaned. This hasn't happened in 40, 60 years. What's the deal? Why would you reinvent the wheel when it's already been taken care of? You know, if Mr. Wagner is gonna be is he gonna still be there in 20 or 40 years the next time it breaks down? Because I understand it happened back in the 60s, 70s, that's 50 years. Why would you guys reinvent the wheel 50 years? Hell, you might still be alive, but the rest of us are gonna be gone. So I don't get, why do you guys do this? This is crazy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just a process to have everybody pay that benefits from the tile. So
Okay, well,
I know there's some
benefiting
argument
from the
on.
tile?
So
My pine trees are sucking up most of the water that's going down the drain.
yeah, I understand there's argument on the benefit too, but it just the way that they do it, wherever the surface water drains. I mean, whether you have tile going a different direction. I mean, a lot of farmers, their water, the slope goes to this tile, but they've drained it, to another tile. But you're still going to pay wherever.
Well, I'm an implant. I've only been out here about 5 years.
Sure.
And basically, I was told that I'm hooked up with Doug, so I shouldn't even be involved in this at all. But I just don't get why you guys are trying to reinvent the wheel, possibly tearing up people's property, which would be their septic systems. Man, I just went through a mess with my septic tank, and basically, I had $1,000 in it in a blink of an eye. And it's like, okay, you guys tear that up, and it's gonna be a hell of a lot more than $1,000 for us. So I get what he's saying, but I just don't understand. When I seen him out there digging over on Doug's property across the road, and they said, hey, we got it fixed, it's clean, it's ready to roll. Man, 40 years from now, let the next generation handle it.
All right, thank
I'm
you.
just saying.
Yep, thank you. Okay, discussion from the board. I'll open it up. What you guys think, or what?
Can I make a quick comment just
Sure.
to respond to Mr. Carey's comments? I mean, just as a way to refresh you guys' mind, is you didn't start this process, right? Anybody in the county, and Scott in this case, can file a petition to establish a drain. You are required, after they do that, to do the steps that we've done. We're here today because that's the process. We're not making it up. There is a law that says if somebody files a petition, follows all those steps, posts a bond, that you have a hearing on it, which we have now done and given people the opportunity to speak to it. Now you just have to decide what to do. The law says you may or may not dismiss the petition or agree with the petition, in which case step 2 comes and Brad figures out the plan and the layout and the assessments and all those things, and we have another hearing, so to establish those rates. Anyway, just as a brief little, why are we here kind of, and for you guys' benefit too, just so you understand it's just like anything. If you have a grievance in this country, there is a process for you to air that grievance, right? It's just kind of weird that you're not in a court, you're in front of a drainage board. You guys today get to play judge kind of, which we don't normally ever do because this does not happen very often. And I've been here, other than Dave and Mike, I think, longer than anybody, and we've never had one. So it's not like we're opening up a huge can of worms. It just doesn't happen very often.
So if I understand it right, when Doug Schrader owned this 10 acres, it was on his deed that he was
It was passed to him
responsible
that
for
way.
that drain. And then he split it in 4 2.5 acre tracts. And for some reason, the Wagner drain got stuck with the responsibility now, right? Is how it
Correct.
worked.
That's how I interpret the deeds, yeah.
Well, I have an issue with overriding a covenant in a deed. That's my issue with this. I don't know how the drainage board can go ahead and override this if it's in a deed. And if we do that, then I think we're setting ourselves up for more problems down the road. Not us, but whoever's on the board. Just my 2 cents worth on it.
Any further discussion? So we need a motion in favor or against?
Yeah, so it's either a motion to dismiss the petition, in which case it goes away, or it's the law, it says if the board does not dismiss the petition, it shall forward the petition to the county surveyor. So either a motion to dismiss that gets a second and a majority of the vote, or a motion to forward the petition to the county surveyor for a final report. Those are kind of your options. As long as Jenny gets it right in the minutes. Then
Okay.
So dismiss or move forward.
So I'll entertain a motion either way, or whatever the feelings of the board are.
Well, I'll move that we dismiss this petition.
Okay, Mike's moved that the petition is dismissed. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Brad seconds it. Any further discussion? No.
Because we may end up in a tie, that's why.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I was just asking.
He just makes sure
whether
that
he was-
I'm gonna abstain. I'm not in this.
Whether
so-
he was voting or
so
not,
I'm
he's
just
abstaining.
Just running the
So-
meeting, so, no further discussion. We'll take a vote. All those in favor of dismissing the petition, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Petition is dismissed.
Just to the board, so you guys know, that means the petition is done at this point. Just-
That's a smart move.
I second it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, looks like, the next thing on the docket is, CFPS for Surf Internet.
Yep, this is a simple, fiber, being bored under a drain. It's located up, in the northern part of the county. Right here on Spear Road, just north of 600 North. Everything seems fine.
No issues with it?
Now, if you have your caution note on plans, or whichever contractor gets it.
Okay. All right, what's the wishes of the board? The office is okay with it?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the consent for permanent structure be approved for the EGOLF M1-3 for Surf Internet.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the CFPS for Surf Internet on the EGOLF M1 #3 drain. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we'll continue on to, we've got left bid jobs, but we have to approve the,
Yeah, we need to approve that it was verbal originally approved to go in red for 2.5 years. So we went from 1,500 feet, which was gonna get us across Anderson Road, to 2,800 feet, which is gonna get us to the west side of 450 east.
So I gave Jenny a verbal on this, that we could go in the red a little more, so just to get to the road, so, I guess hopefully you guys wanna do that and get a motion.
Hopefully you brought your checkbook.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, out of your pocket.
All right. I'll entertain a motion on that,
To go in the red.
to go in the red for 2.5, right, Jenny?
I move we go in the red for 2.5 years.
All those, second, sorry.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we go in the red for 2.5 instead of 2 years on this drain to get it to the road, so we don't have to have so many, visits from the contractor to get it done, so. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes.
So then the bids that we received, they're there on your staff report as well. But for labor, the lowest bid was Tri-County Excavating at $40,400.
And we have to, each one separate,
I
right?
think so.
Usually, yeah.
That's what we usually do. So we have a motion for each one separate. So we can go ahead and we can start on the labor if you wanna approve, or have a motion to approve the bid.
As Tri-County, they've been keeping up on their jobs.
Yeah, they haven't done too much for us recently. This is the first one they've won for a while, but they did a digging job for us a couple years ago.
Okay. I move we accept a bid at Tri-County Excavating, $40,400.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the bid for the labor on the HIVELY D 279-000B to Tri-County Excavating for $40,400. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes on the labor.
And then for pipe, our lowest bid was Bachman Tile for a total of $53,234.56.
Okay. That's the first time Fracco had one for a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, Bachman, it's been a few years since Bachman has.
Okay. All right, that's
All right.
bad. That's what we, I mean, we accept the bid as long as it meets your standards, so.
Right.
Yep.
We'll make a motion, we approve the Baughman bid of $53,234.56 for the HIVELY D 279-000B.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we accept the bid for the pipe as presented for the HIVELY D to Baughman Tile for $17.15 for 30-inch dual wall with a total quote of $53,234.56. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
And then for backfill, the lowest bid was Brackle Trucking at $23.50 per ton for number 8 limestone.
Okay.
I move we accept Brad Hall Trucking for $23.50.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the bid for the backfill to Brad Hall Trucking on the HIVELY D at $23.50 a ton. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes.
And I'm sorry for the interruption, but I don't remember if we talked about this or not, but I don't know if Max and I talked and we decided that with the price of pea gravel being roughly the same as number 8 limestone, and it introduced complexities when we had differing prices from differing trucking companies for pea gravel and limestone, that we just decided to just go all limestone for now and not even bid out pea gravel.
A lot of times they can't get enough to do the job when it comes anyways.
Right, yeah. Pea gravel's almost harder to get these days.
Yeah.
What's his timeline on this tile then, to have it done?
This one has a completion date of December 1st.
Next year.
We got 2 weeks.
No kidding.
Yeah.
26.
Good afternoon.
Good, let's get her done.
Where we at? I guess I'll open it up to other business at this point. Nothing at all? What about the engineer's report? Nothing there? Okay.
Everything's stalled out.
What about field work? Is anybody gonna talk about that?
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
So we will go to the GOBLE 34. When the sheets were out there, working on this phase of the tile, which was from this point here at the end of the purple line over to the blue line, we discovered some discrepancies in the elevations of the tile where we started and between there and 800 South in the purple line. So bottom line, it looks like when the tile was replaced under 800 South, as a part of a bridge or culvert removal project, that the tile was not placed low enough. So when the project went through in 2016 to go from this spot, I guess it actually started here. Oh, I'm sorry, the colors are throwing me off. Anyways, from here to here, they just tied in from that spot to where the road crossing was. Instead of going with the original design profile grade of 0.1%, they steepened it up to meet it to about 0.5%. So we lost all of the cover and the grade that we were designing. Then when the next project was done in 2019, they re-established that 0.1% grade starting at the highway crossing or the road crossing. Very quickly realized that they were too high, to the point where when they got to like right around this area, they realized they were higher than the existing that they were going to have to tie into, and then they just shot down to connect it. So there's now a hump in the tile preventing good flow.
So do you think that whole 30-inch was laid the whole way, or do you think they came up at the road?
They kind of went at the 0.1 for a little while. We have the profile, and then they shot up to the road, and then they got flat again, from what we're seeing on previous profiles and GPS shots and laser shots.
I was gonna say we had to go about 700 or 800 feet north of 900 there to be able to get the fallback. Yeah, to be able to get the depth back that we need to make it work at
So
250.
really, what we decided the only way to fix this is to go back to where the grade changed from 0.1% to steeper and redo it all, including the road crossing, to put it at the grade.
Where you currently stand, what's been replaced is a foot higher than what still needs replaced. So you've got to gain a foot of fall somewhere.
And beyond this, the ground is flat for a significant distance, so we can't necessarily keep the elevation we're at and try to flatten out the tile. There wouldn't be enough grade and enough cover.
Even if that were possible, you can't install your new tile higher than the old tile for the fact of something else tying into it that's unknown.
True, with all the laterals and stuff.
We did the 2016 section.
So 2016 section I don't remember, north of the road.
I don't remember either.
But I don't think it was necessarily the contractor. I think they were told to connect to that road crossing.
So what do you want? Where's that gonna put us?
Well, so the total cost now to do 2,470 feet, the contract this year was for 900 feet, so it would be $65,100, and that would put this drain into the red for 2.5 years. Additionally, the contractor sheets they've said they don't want to, they basically want to drop their current bid and their current project and have it all bid out at one big project. So the request is to go into the red for 2.5 years and to rebid the new project for 2,470 feet.
The 900 feet of tile and backfill has already been delivered, so that won't be included in the new bid.
So the new bid would be to redo the section north of the road that needs redone, is that what you're saying?
All the way to 250 west, like that whole.
So you wanna rebid the whole job, basically?
For the way, and then the additional pipe and backfill.
I mean, have you guys started on the project? Like, do you have costs already in what you've done so far, or did you just go out there and
When we went out to start the project,
You figured out.
yeah.
Okay.
And
I just
then
was-
at that point, Max come out and they just started digging and trying to figure out where it was goofed up and how far back you had to go to make it correct.
So you really haven't started, you didn't start laying anything?
No. Where we dug up where we were supposed to connect, there's 24-inch tile standing 3/4 full of water, and we haven't had any
Yeah, that's
significant
what-
rainfall.
Yeah, you knew you had a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the outlet's higher than.
So we're gonna have to let it.
The outlet is higher
Higher
than.
than-
We're gonna plat it out for bid again for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
No,
Water-
the
water
only
don't go
thing
uphill.
we had in a
That's
day
why I was
would be
worried.
just
Yeah.
the, basically, we
They
turned in a
it
bill for the time and material we spent out there with Max, not part of the bid, because we really actually didn't do any of the bid work because of how it turned out.
Yeah.
So you just need a motion to rebid it, basically.
And go in
And
the
go
red.
on the red.
And
You
this
guys
is-
know we'll have to rebid it, you'll have to submit a bid and all
Yeah,
that.
right.
Okay, I just, I wanted.
We just want, well, that's basically, I don't, if this is another year till it goes into effect, I don't wanna have to do a project for a price that I bid last year,
Yeah.
next year.
Makes sense. I just wanted to make sure
Yeah, yep, no.
you didn't realize that we would
You
have
might
to
not,
start
you
all
might
over.
not get the job.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
that's what I wanted to make sure
The
you
depth
did.
of that road crossing, I'd be perfectly fine with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, so we need,
I move we go into red for, what, 2.5 years? And we rebid the project then.
does that need to be two motions or? Two
We
mo-
can
mo-
probably do it as one, to go in the red and then rebid.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded that we go in the red for 2.5 years and rebid the tiles with the new findings. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes.
Sorry for your time. Problem, I guess.
Well, I've got a couple other things I'd like to ask or comment about, if that's okay.
Sure.
So, they've got some pretty good equipment now to be able to locate tile, check elevations on tile, okay? I know of a project I did last year, the second phase of a ditch, that the whole purpose of a lot of these replacing the main county tile is that the old clay aren't deep enough. Obviously, when you're using a horse and a slip scoop, you weren't gonna you were gonna follow the easy path.
Right.
So we need to make sure from where we start to where it's going to end, we have a cut sheet and a plan for this entire project. Not a cut sheet and a plan for 1,200 feet where we run into a 20-inch high-pressure main and got to give up a foot of cover on the tile because, gee, we knew the main was there, but we forgot to locate it or forgot to get an elevation on it. That was the first phase of the Shaw B, which they were not here at that time. That was done under Mike, and it's water under the bridge, you gotta move on. But before I started phase 2, and please don't think I'm picking on you, because I actually addressed this with you before we started. Before I started phase 2, I said, well, I'd like to see the cut sheet for the whole project. We don't have one. Well, where have we went far enough that we've lost acreage that we can drop tile size? I don't know. Well, I don't understand how you're gonna do a project that's gonna be like 5,000 feet long, 1,000 feet at a time, and not know what you are when you start and what you're going to be when you finish. Before the first piece of pipe is ever put in on any of these big jobs like this, I feel, however far you're going, the entire cut sheet and survey should be done for it before you ever start. Any utilities you have to cross, they need to be located and a depth established on them before you start, because how do you know you're not, maybe we had to run on 1% fall, is it because they hit that gas line and had to come up and go over it? Could we have maybe had, or, I'm sorry, not 1%, 1/10. Could we have maybe had 3/10 in it? If they would have located that, knew the elevation, and been able to go under it, instead of running into it and having to come up. There are just all kinds of things like that. I don't understand why we would do this in little bitty sections when it's gonna be a whole project. Let's survey out the entire project before we start, so we know where we're gonna start, where we're gonna end up. To me, and that right there would eliminate a $100,000 mistake.
I have partially changed my ways. I mean,
Yeah, and I said, I don't want you to think I'm picking on you. I realize you walked into a mess, that there was no records, no paperwork stuff kept, you know,
I
you,
generally use LiDAR that you can get online for planning out the whole drain.
Mhm.
And we'll, I'm increasing the fluff I will have for the LiDAR, you know, inaccuracies. And that keeps us from having to spend a whole day going to survey. But if there's critical spots, like a low spot further up, we will go survey that. We did all this recently with the HIVELY D drain. There was that low spot up toward the top of the drain. We went and surveyed it, realized we were quite a ways off with our original profile, and we lowered it. But we have not been calling utility locates in for the entire thing. That's probably something we could consider.
yeah, 'cause especially like, well, like we have the Shoal B and then the Alice J. Both of those cross that same gas line.
Right. That's that main one that just shoots
Yep.
across the county through
Yep.
the fields.
And both of them were started the same way by Mike. They, and I even talked to Mike about the Alice because that's the main drain for my home farm. And he says, oh yeah, we're gonna dig it up, we're gonna locate it, we're gonna get an elevation on it, and then after the fact, I find out that was BS, it wasn't done. You know, they just dropped into the ditch and took off. Well, the whole purpose of both of those, the Shaw and that, is there's places that it is very, very shallow on cover, and we were constantly having to work on it because it's only got like 18 inches of cover on it. Well, if that gas line could be an issue and you're trying to gain cover, that's something very important. Any utility like that you have to cross.
If anybody knows of a grant to get a vac truck so we can do potholing, it would be appreciated. But
Well, and that would be, because that's how we had Chris Fletcher bring his out, because we could not find the 3-inch gas line along 1,000.
right.
Well, here it was, that was something Mike did right. He knew eventually it would cross there. He had the gas company put that line 14 feet deep. No wonder we couldn't find, it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, and that was very handy to be able to do that. So whether you get set up with somebody as a sub to do it, but yeah, that is a very good way of doing that.
I mean, if there's huge lines, I mean, like that, obviously, definitely want to locate it, but I mean, locating every one's probably had a lot of cost.
No,
I mean, they're,
I'm not.
you know, they're gonna have to come
I'm just
back.
talking about like main things that could add.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, even when they did the wand locate on the 3-inch line that run along 1,000, okay? They came up, they checked the depth, and the depth they told us was 11 foot deep. That put it right smack in the middle
Of what you need.
of our tile.
Yeah.
Because where we crossed 1,000, we were 11 foot deep.
Yep,
So there's things like that it's,
sure.
before the project's ever started, I guess is my point, especially big utilities. If it's like a big power cable
Yeah.
or a big gas line, you really need an elevation on it before the first stick of pipe is ever put in the ground. So you know, do we need to stay down here? Do we gotta come up here? What are we doing?
Brad and we just talked about the HIVELY a week or so ago, that the far end of it is low, and it was put in wrong once. And when you use, what do you call that? Do you use?
The LiDAR.
LiDAR, and it's not completely accurate, is it?
No, it's about, it can be anywhere from, I mean, it's dead on the roads, and the harder the surface, the more accurate it is. So it's dead on roads, but then like in fields, if they flew the flight when the crops are on, you know, it's gonna be way off. So it's gonna be like 1.5 feet off.
So you still need to go out and survey
For
it.
critical spots, I would say.
Yeah,
But
like
no,
that
no,
one,
no.
and you did.
I mean, that's
I think
why I asked.
we're learning as they go, so.
That's why I asked who put the tile in. I mean, you never give up fall. I mean, especially
Right,
on a county
exactly.
main, you never give up fall. I mean,
Especially not that much.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Can't blame Mike no more, I guess.
Yeah.
No, that's gonna be pretty rough to do.
Yeah. So, okay.
So, okay, so it'll be rebid, we're released from the bid, and that's all good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Okay. Any further field work? I guess any more public comment? Anybody else want to say anything? Yeah, come on up.
WAGNER 1936 East Page Road. Just wanted the public to thank the staff and my and the board for consideration in the matter. I'm sure it wasn't easy to listen to all that, but thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Any further public comment? Any issues?
Good day.
Yep, see ya.
Okay, we'll move on. We'll adopt the minutes from the October 20th meeting as the last.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the minutes from the October 20th meeting. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion passes. Anybody else have anything to bring before the board? Okay, meeting adjourned.